Hello everyone, today you'll hear a short summary of the film Blood Diamond. Enjoy watching. Sierra Leone, 1999. A brutal civil war is raging across the country, a war for control over the diamond mines. Solomon wakes his son early in the morning. It's a 5-kilometer walk to school, but only with education can Dia achieve something in life. Otherwise, he'll spend his whole life catching fish, just like his father. Armed rebels arrive in the village. Without hesitation, they begin shooting the locals. Solomon hides his son and runs to his wife and younger children. He helps them escape from the house, but he himself is thrown to the ground. One of the rebels chops off a young man's hand with an axe. Solomon is next, but the commander decides this strong man could be useful at the diamond mines. After wiping out the villagers, the revolutionaries burn down the settlement. The diamonds they mine are used to buy weapons. Captain Poison tells the slaves that the Revolutionary Front has freed them, so they should be grateful. One of the captives finds a small stone and hides it in his mouth. Poison notices, takes the diamond, and executes the man on the spot. The chaos in the country benefits Danny Archer, an arms dealer who trades weapons for diamonds. A local rebel commander tries to cheat him and nearly ends up without his rocket launchers. In the end, he reluctantly pays Danny a handful of stones. While crossing the Liberian border, Danny avoids introducing himself to the journalists nearby. He walks with a group of shepherds, but a border guard becomes suspicious. He's right. Diamonds are sewn under a goat's hide. Danny tries to bribe him, but gets caught and taken to the capital, Freetown. Meanwhile, Solomon discovers a massive pink diamond. At that moment, the water pump breaks down. While the guard is distracted, Solomon hides the stone between his toes and asks to go to the toilet. Poison searches him carefully but finds nothing. Solomon wraps the diamond in cloth, ready to bury it, but Poison catches him. Luckily, government troops attack the camp just then. The commander is wounded, and Solomon hides the stone before being arrested by soldiers. That's how Solomon and Danny end up in neighboring prison cells. Poison screams that Solomon is hiding a huge diamond somewhere. "I'll pay $1,000 to anyone who cuts him open and finds it." "You're insane! Where's your diamond? You took my family away." Danny's friend quickly helps him get out of prison, and he becomes obsessed with finding the pink diamond, planning to sell it to billionaire Van de Kaap. He just needs to earn Solomon's trust. Danny had hidden a small diamond inside his dental crown and manages to sell it for a good stack of cash. Solomon also gets some money when he's released from prison. In a bar, Danny meets American journalist Maddie Bowen, who's writing an expose on Africa's blood diamonds. "So, you're a reporter?" "That's right. Now leave me alone." But Maddie doesn't intend to back off. She wants to see Van de Kaap behind bars. While Danny's out, Colonel Coetzee's man named Cordell breaks into his apartment and trashes it. The colonel is the one who hired Danny to deliver those diamonds. Solomon hopes to find his family among the refugees, but their names aren't on the list. Sadly, they're still in danger. The rebels have taken Dia and driven him away. Danny flies to South Africa to meet with the colonel, the head of a private military company. The man sells weapons to the rebels while also being paid by the government to fight them. Danny once served under him and now smuggles goods on his behalf. The colonel already knows about the pink diamond. "You failed the deal and owe me money. You'll repay me with that stone." Danny returns to Sierra Leone and finds Solomon, who refuses to trust him. Meanwhile, rebels are brainwashing young captives and training them to use weapons. "You are not children anymore. You are men." They hand Dia an AK-47 and order him to shoot at a wall. Blindfolded, the boy doesn't realize he's just killed a person. That night, Poison promotes him to captain. With the rebels, the boy can have anything he wants. The revolutionaries approach the capital. All foreigners are advised to evacuate Freetown. Solomon finds work at a hotel, hoping to locate a buyer for his diamond. Danny insists that only he can help the man find his family, in exchange for half the stone's value. At that moment, the rebels storm the city, mowing down civilians with machine guns. The heroes run between cars, desperately trying to survive. The madmen spare no one, not women, not children. From the other side of the street, government troops open fire, killing those who just escaped. Moments later, the soldiers themselves are blown apart by RPGs and gunfire. The survivors were lined up against a wall and executed. The rebels seized the capital and now celebrate their victory among the corpses. The road out of Freetown was guarded by 3 rebels. Danny outsmarted them and took them out. He and Solomon joined a huge column of refugees. The smuggler met Maddie and asked for her help. In return, he offered compromising material on Van de Kaap. Besides, he genuinely wanted to help the local man. Using her contacts, the journalist discovered that Solomon's family was now in Guinea. The trio flew to a giant refugee camp. It now houses more than 1 million people. An entire country has become homeless. Soon Solomon was reunited with his wife and children, though Dia was not with them. That's how he learned his son had been seized by the rebels. The military suspects that insurgents may be hiding among the refugees, so they will not release anyone until the fighting ends. Now Solomon must keep his side of the bargain and reveal where the diamond is buried. But to get any further, they'll have to pose as journalists, which means Danny will need Maddie's help. Danny lays out the whole scheme for how the stones get from Africa to Europe. He has a list of names and bank account numbers. By sharing this information, he's risking his life. He hopes to find the diamond and leave for good. Danny shoves Solomon onto a reporter's bus, but ahead lies an ambush. During the firefight, the three of them switch to a passenger car and continue under the protection of a military convoy. We move to the rebels' base. Dia keeps being brainwashed along with the other children. They're all dosed with banned drugs to turn them into obedient zombies. The young fighters shoot AKs and sweep entire villages. Soon the journalists fall into another ambush. A military jeep is blown up, and the bus is riddled with bullets. Danny barely survives an RPG blast. They have to run across a field to shake off the pursuit, but the rebels keep firing at them. When their car plunges into a ravine, the group is forced to continue on foot. Ahead, they encounter aggressive Kamajors, a local militia that opposes both rebels and government troops and fights to defend its land. Luckily, Maddie quickly finds a way to connect with them. The trio is introduced to Benjamin Capanow. Here, they try to return children previously taken by the rebels to a normal life. Benjamin personally knows many of the fighters. Their local commander is still afraid I'll find him and smack him with a ruler, he says. The next morning, the teacher drives the guests through rebel territory. At the first checkpoint, two boys with AKs stop them. Benjamin talks to them like they're his pupils, but is hit by a bullet in the process. Danny floors it. They reach the colonel's base, where Benjamin receives medical aid. The colonel intends to destroy everything around him just to find that cursed diamond. Danny wants to protect the journalist and urges her to leave. Maddie distracts a guard and helps Danny steal supplies for the upcoming trek. He doesn't trust the colonel, so he and Solomon plan to act alone. Maddie says goodbye and heads for the plane. "Will you call me?" "As soon as I have a phone." The partners run into the forest. They face a serious forced march. During the night, several vehicles with fighters pass by. Solomon thinks he sees his son and calls out, but they are immediately fired upon from dozens of guns. They must flee again. Danny and Solomon hide under branches to avoid detection. At dawn, the furious smuggler threatens his companion that he'll cut off his head if he betrays him again. Soon they arrive at a village where almost everyone has been killed. Only an old man remains. Solomon heads toward the next village, where the rebels are rampaging. He still hopes to save his son, though this goes against Danny's plans. A fight breaks out between them. Danny even pulls a gun. "My son is with them." "Your son is dead. He's alive. He's with those lunatics. I have to find him. I can't live not knowing what happened to him." Danny realizes Solomon won't back down, so they wait until night and sneak into the rebel camp. Solomon fails to find his son. The partners finally reach the diamond mines. The stone is hidden behind the camp. Danny contacts the colonel and asks for a helicopter to be sent. While the helicopter distracts the rebels, they will get to the diamond. But Solomon decides to act on his own again. Under cover of darkness, he slips into the camp. Danny follows and neutralizes a sentry. Solomon sees Dia playing cards with other young killers and quietly calls to his son. The boy pushes his father away and says he doesn't know him. "There's an enemy here," Dia shouts. Solomon is captured and brought before Commander Poison. He ransacks him, but still can't find the diamond. If Solomon doesn't give up the stone, the thug will find the rest of his family and kill them slowly. "Find the diamond or your family dies." At that very moment, a combat helicopter arrives and begins destroying the base. Missiles tear the rebels apart, while others are riddled with bullets from heavy machine guns. The mercenaries intend to kill everyone. Danny joins the fight. Meanwhile, Solomon attacks Poison and smashes his head with a shovel. Dia is horrified by what he sees. Terrified of Danny, he runs away. The surviving rebels try to escape into the jungle, but the army is already waiting for them there. Soon after, the colonel fully captures the base. He demands to know where the diamond is hidden. If Danny can't convince his friend to talk, they'll both be shot. But Solomon refuses to cooperate. Then Danny brings Dia to the colonel. Solomon will do anything for his son. "Danny, you two-faced bastard. Good job," the colonel says sarcastically. With no other choice, Solomon leads a small squad to the hiding spot. He starts digging, then suddenly claims the diamond is gone. Someone must have taken it. The colonel pulls out his gun, but Solomon keeps bluffing, saying he buried it a bit farther. The soldiers lower their guard, and the partners strike. They gun down the mercenaries, and Danny coldly finishes off the colonel. Only then does he realize he's been seriously wounded. Suddenly, Dia points a gun at Danny. His father speaks softly to him, and the barrel slowly turns towards Solomon instead. Solomon reminds the boy that he's a good student, that he loves playing football, and that his family is waiting for him. I know they forced you to do terrible things, but you're not a bad person. I'm your father. Dia lowers the gun, and Solomon hugs him tightly. At that moment, the mercenaries open fire again. The three flee at full speed. They must reach the airstrip. A plane will come for them soon. Danny takes the diamond and calls his contact, who orders him to get rid of the fisherman and his son. Losing blood fast, Danny grows weaker. Solomon lifts him onto his shoulders and carries him up the mountain. At some point, Danny realizes it's over. He won't survive. He looks at the pink diamond and hands it to Solomon, along with Maddie's business card and a pistol, in case the pilot threatens them. Take the boy home! Take him home! The father and son run toward the plane. Danny covers them with his rifle until his ammo runs out. As promised, he calls Maddie one last time. Dying, he asks her to help Solomon no matter what. I'm happy we met. I'm happy I met you too. Danny ends the call and dies as the sun sets. Maddie brings Solomon to London. There he meets Van de Kamp's representative, but refuses to sell the diamond just yet. First, the billionaire must arrange for his family to be safely taken out of Africa. Van de Kamp keeps his word, and Solomon finally reunites with his family, receiving £2 million in cash as well. Maddie writes her best article yet, exposing the tycoon for funding the war. Solomon becomes the key witness in the case.